Yeah, as we continue to work on these air drills, getting ready for spring, we each have a different project we're working on. What I'm working on is the rollers that go onto the 2 carts. There's 3 tanks, and there's 3 sets of rollers, one for each tank. With the fertilizer that we put on with the seed or the other product, very corrosive. And so what I'm doing right here is I'm taking these doors that hold the seed rollers. Let me show you one right here. Here is a seed roller right here. It's fluted. Depending on what you're putting on, you can get fine, coarse, extra fine, depending on how small the seed is that you're putting on. So we got to go through all these. There's bearings here, here, and here, and we got to make sure that we can turn them with our hand easy, so that there's no resistance in when the cart is trying to turn them, so we get an accurate feed when we're seeding. This one here, we're going to have to replace this section. Rock or something must have got down into the bottom of the tank next to the roller and rounded off these fluted veins. And so I'll replace that. And what I'm doing over here is taking and fixing these doors up. So what happens is this, as the product is coming down, and it's mostly the fertilizer, it'll get trapped underneath this metal strip here that's part of the wear bar, and it'll start raising this up. A couple of them, I had to take this all off, clean it all up, and glue it back down again, and then rivet it so that it'll be tight. After I clean this face up right here, then we have these plastic gluable strips. They're thin plastic strips, nylon strips, that will lay down upon the metering edge right here, and then that'll allow the product to flow on these and less corrosion and accurate. So here's one that's already done. As you can see, have it all cleaned up and then glue it down. And so what I do is I'll take this grinder here and just keep polishing this until it finally gets all the paint, all the old corrosion off, and then we'll be good enough to put this strip down and glue it on.
Manifold's finally down. Couldn't do that because tractor was hooked up the whole time right. Now we can put the rollers in. There's meter rollers that's got to go in every one of these. Dad's been working on those, and then we'll put it back together and check for leaks.
Must have had air.
We were having some issues getting the hydraulics to work, and I think it was air in the system. Look at that. That's fertilizer dust that's just caked on the side of the tube. Love that stuff. I actually do love that stuff. Fertilizer's amazing. It's just not amazing on anything that can oxidate. It's really bad. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I think the guys are ready to bring the blood outside so we can run the hydraulics in here in case we make a mess again. So let's fire her up. Let's get her out. I think Leg Arms is liking the 6-foot bed.
I like it.
It's a little overkill though. Don't you miss your knees being on the rack of the 4-wheeler?
No, my knees are now on plastic bridges, which is even better. No, I'm serious. It's even better.
It is better, yeah, it is better. Guess I put it together right. I changed the belts on that thing a couple weeks ago, and it sounds good. About 100 hours of time on it will tell the truth if I did it right, but so far so good.
The 600 Big Bud is out here with the 4350 grain cart, and now what we got to do is we got to go grab the toolbar. And since we changed those bushings on the toolbar, and we did it in the other one, we're going to take that toolbar, lay it out on our flat cement on front of our shop. lower it down so that you can see the points close to the cement. And then that way we can find out if it's level. And if it's not level, then we will adjust it to, well, until it's level. Grab the Case IH tractor, pull it over, wing it out, and let's see what it looks like.
Good morning. Oh, feels good. Oh, it is a long sleeve shirt. I know, but it's not a sweatshirt. It's like probably the second time this year I've been able to do this. Supposed to get to 62, 65 degrees Fahrenheit today, later this week. Close to 70, usually when that happens, which this is the case. It's gonna blow. Probably gonna have wind 30 mile an hour, 3-4 days on end. That's good though, because it's gonna help harden soil up. Get rid of the nasty muddy goo that's in there right now. So we'll be able to soon get in the ground, but that's what this is going on here. Leg Arms has got the 7140 Case IH Magnum hooked up to the tool that goes to the back of that air cart, and we're gonna back it up here, wing it out, and level it. I might need to make some room for him. Let's go give him a hand. Forgot, gotta take these stands off. Those are safety stops, so that way when you're roading the air drill down the road, it doesn't sink the tool down to the ground and start ripping the county road up. That's happened. So he's letting it down right now, as you can see. Cylinder's collapsing. The other thing that's gotta happen, Dad's gonna take 270 John Deere skid steer, or I should say the John New Holland Deere, and he's gonna pick up every one of these front casting wheels. We're gonna spin them 180 degrees, because this isn't normally how they track when you're going to the field. This is backwards, because these rotate depending on which direction you're going. Get them all lined up, and that way we'll be accurate as far as leveling the drill. Doesn't take too long, unless the drill's way out of level, then it takes a long time. And you gotta do this every year, because the whole point of this is we don't want to be planting seed 2.5 inches deep on one side and a 1/2 inch deep on the other side, because there's only so much energy in a wheat kernel or any kind of seed that you're planting to push through the soil. You gotta get it just right, and your best chance of survival in a big crop is even distribution. These older drills are not as accurate as the new stuff. The new stuff, yeah, I can put it in the exact spot perfectly every time. This stuff, it fluctuates a little bit. Crazy. Seems like we were just here doing this a year ago. Time flies. Amazing. Year after year. Year after year. Just bam, boom, boom. Same thing every year, except for he's different every year. Gets bigger in the arms area. What do you guys think? Flex seal? Flex seal it, Gorilla Tape. Maybe Leg Arms can lay out a cap for it. That's not really gonna help.
Man, look how strong he is.
I feel like it's just gonna blow up in my face. I'm actually a little frightened.
He gives a rip.
I'm actually really frightened about that. Let's de-air it and put a new one on.
That's okay. That's what tires are for. They change them, and then they end up in a landfill somewhere, unfortunately. These ones are actually not corded though. I don't think there's any cords on them, so they're a little easier to recycle. So if you had a tire shredder, that'd be nice. You could make some cool playground rubber out of those tires. After walking up and down this thing, Dad, who's the master leveler, decided that just the ends are a little high. So we just gotta loosen up these jam nuts here, and then we can slide this whole gang assembly with these two packer reels, those gangs, up, which will drop the wing down probably an inch maybe, and that way it'll be a bit closer. So we'll do this on this side, do it on that side, and then this tool here is actually pretty close to being done. The only negative thing that's really bad about this is a lot of leaks in the hydraulic lines. Flex coil, I know all hydraulic hoses go bad over time, but Flex coil unfortunately has had a bad history of some really poor quality hydraulic lines, and they just start seeping oil really bad. So that's something we've dealt with for years. We're just constantly replacing them. Well, there's more leaks on here. In fact, there's a big one when we were unwinging it out and sprayed oil everywhere. So I gotta pressure wash that down when we're done. We'll lift it again, see if we can find that hole, either splice the line or get a whole new one made. That's the other thing. But other than that, just grease this thing, then get it hooked up to the cart, which is on the 600/50 Big Bud, and then hook the electronics in, get the Intelligent Ag blockage system. Great blockage system, by the way. These guys are amazing. Best blockage system on the market. I'm not just trying to be a salesman here. I'm just saying, this thing has saved our bacon. We love this blockage system. It's great. Get that, make sure that's tuned in and working, and then go. Somehow this all got all bent up, so we're gonna take it off, put it in the press, bend it back before it pops out in the middle of the field. Not that bad of a deal, just a little bend. All right, let's take this to the press, see if we can flatten it out a little bit. Kind of figure out that there's that bolt that holds that pin from popping out. So it wouldn't come out on its own, but that's okay. I don't want to oblong that hole out. So that's all we have a press. Presses are nice and dangerous, so be careful when you're using them. Well, it's a little mangled up, but that pressed it closer together. I think we'll take a look at the pin. I'll put it in there and see what it looks like, but I think that'll be fine. It's not something that's critical. Just got to hold that arm from going back and forth, which is pretty simple. I just don't want the pin to come out. Yeah, that'll work. So now I just got to try to position that arm back in place. This might be a little trickier. Always easier to take it apart than put it together on these kind of things. There, back together. That'll be a little bit more insurance so that doesn't come apart. All right, I'll move on to the next thing. Leg arms is climbing up in the Magnum. He's gonna wing this up. There's one press wheel down here. These are called your press wheels. They kind of pack the soil behind the seat a little bit. It's got cracks in the inside, needs welded up. So he's gonna wing it up, do that. I'm just watching here as he raises it to see if I can see where the oil is leaking out of the hose over here. If I can see that, then I'll know which one to replace. I haven't washed it off yet. He's gonna bring it over to their side anyway, so when he does, way up in the air, isn't it? You can see the oil dripping right there. So, right where that hose clamp is, I know where the spot. I'll take a look closer when he's done doing this. I'm not climbing up there now, obviously. This thing's not far from being done. It's good. I like being prepared. What's up, dude? What are you upset about? Did Grandpa leave you? What's up, Pete? Can you howl? You howl? Okay, let's go find him. Come on, let's go find him. He's over here somewhere. That was interesting. I guess he likes to howl when Grandpa leaves. I understand. Time to level that drill. He's gonna pull it up, back it up, get it on the concrete, make sure it's nice and level, and then also inspect it again. One thing nice about climbing all around it like that is you get to see all the stuff that you didn't see before. And then when that's done, we'll hook the other air drill up to the other bud, and we're getting close. I know, I've said that a few times, but it's happening. Don't worry, guys. It may look easier than it is, but he's got 1, 2, 3 places this thing hinges at when it pivots, when he's backing up. And when he turns the butt, it throws the back end of that thing around, which then in turn throws the cart around. So it's a little tricky backing this stuff up. But he's done it a few times, so Dad's pretty good at it. Usually you don't get it the first time. A couple tries. Gotta move the side-by-sides out of the way. I don't really feel like crushing one of these today. That'd be really bad. You guys might enjoy it. I wouldn't. Dad's going up and down checking the level of it. I noticed, similar to the problem we had at that other gang, except for this one's not bent at all. It's just the U-bolt here is loosened and it like slid over. So I'm gonna loosen that up again, pound it back, tighten it up because it is messing up the alignment of this gang right here. As you can see, it's like curled in a little bit. So we want to get rid of that. Get the air hose and straighten this out. For those of you that may not understand what an air drill is, in simplicity, big tank full of seed and fertilizer with meters that meter a certain calibrated amount down into a manifold that is pressurized with air pressure, air volume, and the seed as it drops through is caught up in the volume of air, which then throws it down these tubes, and it splits off and goes to each one of these manifolds. There's 8 manifolds on these drills. These are 57-foot air drills. And out of those 8 manifolds, it branches off into each one of these shanks, which then goes to the boot, which then goes to the opener, and the opener deflects the seed as it comes out, and it spreads into the ground. And then throws a little bit of soil on the top, covers it, and the press mills go along the back and just lightly compress the surface above it, just enough so that like the wind doesn't erode the soil away, and that there's good soil to seed contact so it can start germinating. In theory, that's how it works. I'm gonna take the caps off each one of these towers, just inspect the inside, make sure there's no mouse nests, you know, pigeon feathers, who knows, you won't believe the things we find in there every year. Water, it's just stuff. But I'll clean them up, go through them all just to confirm, make sure the hoses are all attached correctly, and look at the Intelligent Ag blockage system, just make sure the hoses are all plugged in, everything's good. Then I'll just help Dad level it, and this thing's not far off from being ready as well. Just pulled the cap off and look right there. See that? Big old chunk of fertilizer. Who knows how long it's been running like that? Hopefully not long. And that's why you have a blockage system on here to catch that kind of stuff. That must have happened right at the end of last season because we would have went out and unplugged that. But that's what blockage systems do. They protect you from that. Dad's winging that up. It's gonna go pull around on the concrete, put the rollers in the inside of the cart. I'm gonna start this girl up. We're gonna get her hooked up to that tool. And then just make sure everything's good. Test out the blockage system, and hopefully this will be ready to roll too. Always a little trial and error getting the hoses right, but we're good now. It's hooked up. We just got to put, there's a safety railing on the top of the cart that we had to take off, and we put that in the building a couple weeks ago, and he's got it right there. We got the bolts up there. They should be in there. 9/16 I think is what they were. I'll go grab a impact gun and meet you up there. Just like we did the other air drill, got to put the rollers bottom of this thing as well as the covers. So we got her up on the concrete. I'll sweep the bottom off down here so our knees don't find any awesome rocks. Kneecaps and rocks don't mix. But we'll go ahead and put the rollers in and then just make sure everything's turning good. A little bit closer. I hear already some guys in the area are rolling. They're planting. Seen some posts on Instagram, which by the way, guys, we have an Instagram page. If you want to see up to day events, like a lot of the stuff you guys see on these videos are up to a week behind. So if you want to see stuff that's happening right now and kind of just some fun, goofy stuff on and off, different side of us, go to our Instagram page, Facebook as well, Welker Farms Inc. Look us up, find us, it's a good deal. But anyways, guys are planting. We got to get planting. We got to get going. Do you guys remember that Minneapolis Moline? Of course you do. I remember it too, because I haven't finished it yet, because we're still waiting on parts, but they're coming. This is the auger that thing's gonna run. That's gonna be our fertilizer auger. This is an old 8-inch auger. It's not something that we cherish, I guess. It's not really something we use very often, very rare. So that's why it gets the dirty task of handling fertilizer. So Dad and Leg Arms brought it over to the shop. They're gonna go through it. There's some issues with the driveline on it. It is PTO powered. So we need to go through and just confirm, make sure this thing's good to go, check the chain on the end. So that's why that's here. That bud should be about field ready, just needs calibrated with the product. This one's got a couple hiccups with some wiring issues we're kind of just fiddling with, testing, but it's just sitting here right now until we get that confirmed. The wind is picking up, so it's gonna get really breezy today. That's why we're parking everything on this side of the shop, because the wind blows this way. So this is our big wind block. So I might mess with the sprayer today, we'll see.
Take a look at that. And over here, this. These hydraulic hoses are getting old on this cart. We've replaced a number of them, but there's one that goes, about 3 of them. We replaced one of the 3 that go from the back of the cart to the front, and 3 of them are the old style hoses that are leaking. And once we rerouted them and redid some things, once you bend them a little bit, they start leaking, and that's what's going on. And they're the pressure ones for the depth and also the wing lift for the drill part. So anyway, went to town, got some bunch of male fittings, crimp on, because that's what each end is. And so I'm going to take the 3 hoses off and make new hoses and throw them on here to clean up that. It's gonna put a crimp on what I was gonna do today, but it's gotta be done.
One thing left of the puzzle that we got to do is get our land roller. We have a partnership in it with another farm, Wonkin Farms, and so we're gonna go and get it from them. It's in their yard, it's been there all winter. They're not gonna eat it for a while. So I'm gonna go take the old International dump truck. It's got the spindle hitch in the back. I'm gonna use that to pull that roller back because this truck's got the weight, as well as the nice hitch in the back to pull that thing. Go get that, bring it back to the yard. We'll service it, make sure it's good, get it hooked up to the Magnum tractor, make sure we're all good there because that Magnum is gonna be the rolling tractor again. Works pretty good. Power shift, horsepower is just about right to pull it. So we gotta roll our peas, we'll roll our chickpeas. So there's some acres that we need to do. But this is the great rig to go get it with, so let's go get a land roller right now. It's always a tricky job with a one man. You can't see behind you when you're backing up. I raised the bed up because there's a little gap you can see between the box and the frame. Fortunately, the center's blocked off so I can see the sides. That kind of helped me get an idea of where I was lining up with it. But a couple times in and out of the cab, got her fixed up. Tires look good on this. So I'll go ahead and just take it easy home and then service this thing. Looks good though. Nice having newer machinery. This is only like 2 years old, 3 years old. She's greased up really good, but I'm not so sure I like the sound of this roller. There's 2 bearings, one on each side. This thing weighs a lot. Getting it going's not the easiest thing. Maybe it's not doing it as bad. Oh, there it is. I don't know what this is, but every now and then there's something definitely inside. You can hear it banging around, but hear that? That sounds like a ball bearing either has some rust on it or something. Ooh, see right there? Yeah, I might have to get a bearing ordered and either change it or run it until it looks like it needs change and then change it. All right, let's go ahead and drop this hitch. Truck unhooked, park it, go get the Magnum, hook it up, hook the hydraulics up, maybe wing it out, make sure everything's functioning, then park it for when our man comes. Brad the man, he's coming. Gonna run the roller for us this year. He's been our truck driver during harvest. He was our roller last year. I think the year before that. Brad's the man, Brad does a good job, so we're gonna have Brad run the Mandako roller this year. He's gonna be behind us when we're putting the peas in. It'll be awesome. Okay, get this ready for Brad.
Dad was working really hard to get those hydraulic hoses off the air cart. We have a huge massive roll sitting there on the floor, which means we need to cut the right lengths. We're gonna come a little shorter because the other ones are way too long. Yeah. This is getting awkward, guys. Okay, that's much better. Anyways, let's go ahead and roll this out, cut a couple hoses, crimp new ends on it, and put them back on.
Made a quick trip to town, and this is all of our treat and inoculant. So over here, it's this seed treat for our wheat. Helps against fungus, certain types of worms that are in the ground. It's just kind of an extra level of insurance for putting seed in the ground that potentially could fail. This over here is called inoculant. This is for our chickpeas. This is for our yellow peas. That's a bucket of some rhizobial stuff we're gonna try to see what it does, but I'm gonna try it out and see how well it works in our farm. Anyways, inoculant is what helps the root structure of a pulse plant. Nodulate is basically an organism that grows on the roots and it nitrogen fixates, which is good. Plants need it, and it helps replenish our soil's nitrogen, which the wheat, which is that stuff, consumes. That's why we do pulse crops and wheat. We're trying to do that, even though this stuff, pulse crops, not this, but pulse crops in general right now are not worth nearly as much as they were. So you don't make nearly as much money with it. Kind of a gamble, but we're hoping that this stuff pays this year. We'll find out. But we have to have this indoors because that's living organisms in there. If it freezes, it'll kill them. And then it's completely worthless. So heated shop, they stay inside. You guys remember those 2 big grain bins we're having put up? Well, the gravel's coming, which means things are starting. They want to get them going soon. The building crew is kind of itching to start construction. Well, we can't get construction going until we get concrete poured. Well, we can't get concrete poured until we get gravel down. So we got a gravel truck coming with 30 some yards of gravel, and he's going to dump a load here and bring a couple more, so we're going to show him where to go. That's pretty sweet. We're getting going on this. So this is a belly dump on the truck. So he's just gonna open the gate, let the gravel fall down. Yeah, that's a lot of gravel. That's good gravel. Cool, that's 1 of 2. We're gonna bring 2 of these here, possibly a 3rd, and then we're gonna have some brought back to the farm. That's awesome. Gravel's hard to come by in these parts. So when you get it, it's a good feeling. There we go. Okay, that's good. So he'll come back for another one, and then yeah, we'll level this all out, grade it all out, start the process. This is pretty exciting, guys. Just think, 2 beautiful shiny bins. Here and here. And I guarantee you this year we're gonna fill them full because we're gonna have a big crop. It's gonna happen. All right, so I've got 2 shuttles of glyphosate here. This is from a local FBN hub. I ordered these through FBN Direct. Got a good deal on them. I'm gonna go ahead and load these with a skid steer, put them on the drop deck over here since this trailer is pretty much ready to go. Leg arms, I also took a cage off an old container here, and we're gonna use this one as a nice garbage container on there. So we'll be able to put boxes in there, all kinds of goodies. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all 3 of these things on that trailer, get them strapped down, and then move on to the next thing. There we go, shuttles are on. Got our box container here for all the spare boxes and jugs that we have. Everything's plumbed. I checked for leaks. Everything's not leaking. Got water in the tanks. This is awesome. I'm excited to try this new trailer setup out. It's gonna be a little bit more refined, a little bit better. If you guys are interested, you can get yourselves some of this Ag Saver. Stuff's made in the US, I think Texas or something like that. Anyways, it's through a FBN Direct, so if you wanna be a member, sign up. Get $100 off your membership if you use the Welker promo code WELKER100. That'll help you guys out, help me out, and then also get you access to stuff like this. FBN's a group of farmers, a large group of about 10,500 for my last check, and we basically work together to help make this job a little bit easier. So definitely check it out, guys. Links in the description below. This tractor and air drill, pretty much ready to go. Hasn't been in the field yet, so there's always that kind of kinks that you find when you actually start turning dirt. But that one, ready to go. Same story, hasn't been in the field yet. It's a little bit wet, as you can see. A little shower came over, rained a little bit, so we're holding off. Plus I got a birthday party to go to. My oldest is turning 3. I'm gonna have a 3-year-old. Oh boy. Big Brute's hanging out over here. He's gonna be back on the concrete right here. We're doing some updates to him. You guys will see that in a future video. And I just wanna say too, guys, some cool things came for this beloved tractor. Got the gasket kit. So stay tuned for that video coming. We're gonna start assembling that thing together, hopefully get her fired up and running. I also wanna show something real quick. I get stuff like this all the time, and I don't always have time to show everybody's stuff, but I just wanna say thank you. You know who you are. We had these awesome wooden toys, and it just happens to be my daughter's birthday. So that is convenient. She gets to open this. Thank you, Tom, for the toys. My little girl's gonna love opening that up. Leg Arms Kids gets to play with it too, so not just mine. And if you guys would subscribe to the channel, it helps me out, helps you guys out. Things are awesome. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, please. I appreciate it. But anyways, guys, like always, God bless, take care, and I will see you next time.